Beautiful face, terrible memory. All right, and we're in. What's good, party people?
Party people?
Random jolt of energy? No?
No.
Why not?
No. You worked from home today. I was in the office.
Well, first, no, I didn't work from home. I worked half the day from home.
Back home by noon.
So what's your point?
Working from home.
But what's up, growing gang? Welcome back to episode
4. Mm-hmm.
We've been doing this for 4 weeks now consistently. Shout out to us, period. Ain't that great?
Yeah, because low-key, it could have got off the rails a long time ago.
Oh, for sure.
For consistency.
Oh, for sure. But yeah, welcome back. Once again, thank you all so much for your support. Keep remembering to like, comment, share, subscribe. Follow us on all social media platforms. Right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the TikTok?
Growing.together.pod, I believe.
Yep. And on Instagram, it's Growing Together Pod.
Make sure, speaking of Instagram, first of all, I also want to say thank you for all of the engagement that we got on the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
It's very interesting seeing how many people are interested in how we make this intercultural relationship work.
Mm-hmm.
Especially considering we are not the only ones who have preconceived notions about each other's culture.
That part.
So yeah, thank y'all. I appreciate it. I think that was dope. But please, y'all, make sure y'all comment on the actual video.
Please.
While I appreciate it, just don't DM me because I need people to see, because you comment, that prompts the algorithm to put it for more people. So I'm gonna need y'all to help us out and comment on the actual video, follow the actual page. Don't just only watch what we put out on our personal pages.
Right.
Like, follow the podcast, TikTok and Instagram and such and so forth, and like and comment on the post.
And to be clear, we're not doing this to be famous, but at the end of the day, it's still got to drive the content because the engagement kind of keeps us encouraged to keep doing it. And like we said, the moment this no longer becomes fun,
Done.
we're not doing it anymore.
Plug.
So yeah. But what's up, everybody? My name's Ejiro.
I'm Melanee.
As you can see, she has a drink in her hand.
This is water.
Sure it is.
It tastes like water.
Okay. All right. Mexican holy water. That's what they called it when we went there.
How crazy do it look if I don't agree with you?
You just made me look crazy. You know what? Bet. I see this is how the episode's starting. For sure. All right. With that being said, how was your week? Peak and valley.
You know what? I don't even feel like thinking about a peak because I already got my valley and my don't piss me off.
All right, cool.
So my
Go
peak,
ahead.
my valley and my don't piss me off are the same situation. I had a coworker this past week who decided to come into the office sick as hell and spread her germs to our side of the office. And I was the only person in the entire space, in that particular space of the office, that got fucking sick. And
it's not funny.
What irritated me the most is that she comes in and she looks horrible. She sounds horrible. And one of the regional managers was like, why are you, she was there and she was just like coughing and stuff. And she was like announced to the entire room, like, yeah, I finally caught the cold that's been going around. Like it was some type of fucking badge of honor.
So was it like a little cough or was it like a full blown?
No. Sorry.
Yeah. Clearly you're still pissed off about it.
Because I hate being sick, and I wouldn't have gotten sick had she stayed her ass the hell home. And she was like, well, I finally caught the cold that's been going around. And so our regional manager was like, well, why don't you just go home? She was like, well, it's just a little cold. And then proceeded to be gone because she was sick for the next 2 days.
Wait, so she came into work and then took PTO afterwards? Oh, yeah, no, that's... She's an asshole. She's an asshole.
I was sick all week. And I still have like a smoker's cough situation still going on here. So that's my valley and my don't piss me off.
Okay.
Because
Can you think of
I
a
ain't
peak?
saying F her, but
I ain't saying you should do it. Your mother watches this podcast.
she knows. She all right. She all right. She all right.
All right, if you say so. Can you give me a peek at least? Like, try your hardest to give me a peek.
I found a really, really, really good K-drama, and it made me cry. That's how good it was.
She was blubbering, not crying.
I was
like,
sobbing.
full blown in tears. The dog jumping on the bed to hug her and our dog Blue.
He's an emotional support animal.
So he hears her sniffling.
No, I wasn't sniffling. It was the character on the show was dying, and I was crying by also going, no. And the dog, no, he's not.
All we hear is
he's
nails.
not supposed to be on the bed. He knows he's not. And he is really good about abiding by said rule. And he doesn't got climb on the bed, but he heard me sobbing, and I was like, no. He jumps on the bed over you and sits in my lap, and he puts his head on my chest, and he's just looking up at me. And it was the sweetest little thing. I love my poochie.
I have to let it slide. That could be a peak. Blue realizing that you were crying and then literally skirting from the other side of the house all the way over. I'll give it.
Okay, I got two. The fact that I found a really good K-drama. It's called Mellow Movie. If y'all are into K-dramas, it's really good.
Nobody's.
I haven't finished yet. You said what? Say it again.
What?
You want to say that one more time?
Say what?
Okay, that's what I thought.
Mama.
You're going to be crying for your mama in 2.5.
Is that a threat?
It's a promise.
Wow. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a recording. So if I do come up missing, you know what happened.
See? God damn it.
Cough away from the mic, please and thank you.
Anywho. But that's it. Yeah, that's my peak, my valley, and my don't piss me off. One fell swoop.
Good.
All right, what about you? How was your week, peak, valley, all that good stuff?
So my peak this week was, this might sound like real egotistical, but I don't care. I am very good at what I do. Very good at what I do. And very often in the position that I'm in, it's a very thankless job. So this week, somebody who usually doesn't give me the accolades, because I deserve my accolades, gave me my accolades. And that actually kind of felt really good. So that was my peak for this week.
I deserve.
Here she goes singing again.
Not seriously. Shout out to Mama D, because that song was a classic on Love and Hip Hop.
Oh, for sure.
I deserve.
What's funny is like even when she's play singing, she actually sounds good.
No, I don't.
Okay.
That sounded a mess.
Right. Sure. All right.
Continue. That's your peak. Valley.
That's my peak. My valley. I'm going to take a shot in the dark here and hopefully I don't die. My valley was you.
Because I was sick?
When she is sick, she can't decide whether she wants to be babied or be a strong, independent woman. You couldn't decide. 1 minute is, love on me, baby me. Why don't you act like, do you hate me? And then the next minute is, go away, leave me alone, I'm fine. That was my valley. I kept getting jerked around like a yo-yo.
Had to keep you on your toes.
Oh, bye. So yes, that is my valley for this week. Because you being sick is like literally dealing with a toddler.
I know you lying. And I also know you ain't talking.
I'm not afraid to admit that I'm a baby when I'm sick. You choose not to act like one, but then end up becoming one by your actions. Can't regulate your emotions worth nothing.
I be sick. Whatever.
Rub my back. Don't touch me.
Love me. Go away.
Literally like a rose. He loves me. He loves me not.
Well.
All right.
Congratulations. You made it through the week.
I survived. I'm a survivor.
Bye.
What's funny is you want to laugh, but you won't even give me the laugh. That's crazy.
Because you're not funny.
That's crazy.
He's not funny.
That is crazy.
You're not funny. You're not funny.
Oh my God. See, this is how they be. Women just try to keep you humble.
What show don't piss me off? Because you about to piss me off.
That was my don't piss me off.
That was your valley.
2, man.
Oh.
Don't piss me off and my valley. If you can merge them, I can merge them too.
All right. Whatever.
All right.
You want to be like me so bad, but it's all right.
Okay, whatever, bro.
It's fine. It's fine. Don't African auntie me.
All right, let's get into the episode, man. Today we're recording on a specific day. We're not going to tell y'all what day it is, but can we tell them what day it is?
I don't know what's significant about today.
Oh, well, actually, let's do it this way. We are recording in our anniversary month.
Oh,
We are on the precipice.
what's with the big words?
I knew
Gina?
that was coming. I literally almost said it the same time as you.
Well, you could have. It might have been funnier. That's how I know you don't have comedic timing.
Okay, whatever.
That's how we know.
Sure.
Continue.
So sitting on the precipice or standing on the precipice of 6 years, and the proverbial proverb. Yeah, I'm gonna hit you with all the big words today. The proverbial proverb is that the dating pool got shit in it. So, with that being said, I want to actually ask you a first question of, what was your first ever date?
My first ever date?
First ever date.
The fact that you think I would know that.
Try.
I don't know. I mean, it probably was like on some like, it was a group of us going somewhere and like everybody just kind of like split off into couples and we all like was at the movies and got food. But
Oh, so your first date was like a couple's date, a group date?
probably.
Really?
But I can't tell you. I can't tell you who it would have been with. Like I can't. But that's my assumption.
I think my first date was, my first date was a movie theater. I went to a movie with somebody.
I feel like everybody, like when you, depending on how old you are, I feel like a lot of people's first date is usually a movie theater.
So with that in mind, do you think that the expectations of first dates have completely changed? Because you hearing now all of the time that coffee dates don't even count as a date anymore. What do you think is an expectation or is a solid expectation for a first date?
Nope, you asked me 2 different questions. Which question am I supposed to answer first?
Your choice. It's your world. I'm just living in it.
Don't you forget it.
Don't you forget it.
Well, first question was, do I think that the expectations of first dates have changed? I think that the answer to that question depends on which gender you're talking to. Like if you're talking to women, I feel like this goes against everything we've said that we're not going to do on this podcast by like generalizing, but you've put me in this position and you kind of suck for it. I feel like if you ask most women, we'll probably tell you that no, like the expectations of us hasn't changed. You know, we're still expected to dress up and look nice and go on a date and be open. And like, I don't think the expectations of how we date has changed. I feel like men would say that the expectations of dates have changed. Like there's this whole culture right now of whether or not a date is a good date depends on how much money a man spends.
Oof. Preach.
And whether or not you consider that a good date depends on your own experiences and how you grew up and what you believe and type of men you attract and, you know, all of that. I'm not going to shame anybody for what they like. However, I mean, if we're making it more specific to us, our first date, you know, was just to go get food at and red smoke. Something real simple.
Keep it simple.
My privilege as a woman, I can't tell you the average cost of the food on the menu. Wasn't my business. I just went to go eat, whatever.
Wait, so I was just a plate of food to you?
Not at that time. I actually liked you. You were, I'll put it like this. You were one of the very few men that I dated that wasn't just I'm just gonna give me some free food real fast.
Oh, that
you weren't one of
them
ones. I actually liked you.
I appreciate that. You didn't tell me, but I appreciate
you
that.
You didn't have to know. Stop acting like you need to know everything all the time. And then our second first date was a double date. And then we did Dave and Buster's and Bahama Breeze, which Dave and Buster's is expensive. I do know that much.
Very much so.
But Bahama Breeze, I don't go there enough to know the average cost of a date. But now, there are some women who will look at me being okay with those being my first dates with you and be like, oh girl, you don't
accepting the minimum.
You bare minimum. Which, I mean, again, to each his own. But I was perfectly satisfied with the dates that I had. I think more so than anything, what constitutes a good date for me is whether or not y'all have good chemistry, good conversation, and whether or not your date actually likes you.
I absolutely agree.
So yeah, so to answer the first question, that's how I feel about expectations on first dates. I forgot what the second question was.
I low-key forgot too. However, let me rephrase. Let me answer that question too to give my perspective from a man's viewpoint. I absolutely agree with you. I don't think the expectations of a woman in my mind have changed. The expectation is to show up, be cordial, be open, look cute, and look presentable and come to the date. The big difference now is the expectation to spend. I think dating has taken a very much so capitalistic approach.
Correct.
It's like however much you are willing to spend on a date determines how much you like the person. Because
it's got to be aesthetically pleasing now. Because, we living in a new age of social media. And if this date is not interesting enough for me to essentially vlog with like a no face, no case, then it wasn't a good date, clearly.
That's probably why people end up in terrible relationships, because they're not taking the time to actually get to know the person they're sitting across from. They're more so interested in how the date is going to be portrayed outside of the date.
I'm sure.
So to me, that's one of the biggest changes in the dating scene. Again, I am so glad I'm not in the dating pool.
So you think it's social media that ruined dating?
I don't think it's social media. I think it's people.
People on social media ruin dating.
Exactly. I think the idea...
That's the equivalent of like, guns don't kill people. People with guns kill people. That's childish. I'm sorry. That was such low-hanging fruit for a joke.
But it's true. Like, a lot of people are people forget that like social media is a lot of people's highlight reels. So they take that to be like real life and very often shoot themselves in the foot and miss out on a lot of good opportunities because they're trying to impress the next person. So to me, that's one of the biggest changes as far as dating. A follow-up question now is, with us being in a relationship and really have been dating, right, for 6 years, has your expectations of courting somebody changed? Is this what you expected courting somebody to be like? Or do you have a newfound perspective now 6 years in?
One thing that a lot of people may not know about me is I am not a expectations person. I don't walk into any particular situations with these high hopes or expectations. I've been let down enough in my lifetime to know that the bar isn't hell. And if it's a little bit better than hell, then we on the right track. So I'm not a good person to ask that question. Honestly, I'm a day at a time. I can't tell, first of all, before I even get there, who the hell uses courting? You, depending on who was watching this in the age group, you might have to explain what courting is versus dating.
Courting is like getting to know somebody with like real intention. If you watch Bridgerton, you know what courting is, goddammit.
That's funny. Well, if that's the case, I don't remember us walking around the promenade. Is it called promenade?
Promenade,
whatever.
Pompanade.
We didn't do it. What was my, you wasn't holding an umbrella? I wasn't holding an umbrella with my gloves on and stuff.
It's 2021.
What year is it?
It was 2021.
When we what?
When we like fully started courting. Shortly after COVID. Don't try to play me like I just said something stupid. Don't do me.
All right, my bad.
Be serious for once in your life.
Never. Never. No, I've never had any expectations of what courting or dating would have looked like.
So growing up, you never had the fantasies of like your Prince Charming and what that looks like?
No. Because, well,
Really?
I never thought I would get married. So.
Oh, well, I knew that.
Yeah, I never thought I would get married. So, like, the whole prospect of a Prince Charming and the whole fantastical fairy tale of dating and getting to know each other and falling in love, it was never a thing for me.
So you took a very realistic approach to love then?
I take everything with a very realistic approach. And a lot of times you won't find my head in the clouds.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the emotions head in the clouds girl as most of my generation. I watched the Cinderellas and the Disneys and the fairy tales, but I never saw myself being one of those type of people. So it was always like it would be nice if it happened.
Yeah.
But nah, I was never that fantastical and in the clouds.
For
Never.
me, my expectations for sure changed.
Okay.
I thought that love was this whimsical Prince Charming. I'm going to come sweep you off your feet, open every door. Granted, I still do that to some extent, but there's a certain level of reality that hits you when you've been with somebody for 6 years, where it's like, oh, this is my person. Like, I don't have to put on a show. Like, love is not a show. Courting somebody or getting to really know somebody is not a show. However, courting, I'm going to keep saying that word, but like getting to know somebody for real is really holding up a mirror to yourself.
Explain more words.
If you are really trying to get to know somebody, you have to open up with a certain level of vulnerability that is very scary.
Correct.
I have to show parts of myself for you to be willing to open up parts of yourself to me. And that in and of itself, as selfish as it sounds, is holding up a mirror to yourself, because a lot of the times you have to ask yourself, do I love this person enough to change this part of me that she doesn't like?
Yeah.
That is one big perspective shift that I learned, like, to make our relationship work. And a lot of people be like, I am who I am when I come in this relationship. You either like it or you don't.
That's some people's approach to life.
But in getting to know somebody, in my opinion, that's an approach that you can't have. Yes, there are core pieces of you that don't change. 100% agree with that. The framework of who you are doesn't change. But in the aspect of getting to know somebody and trying to blend and get a life with somebody, there are things about you that are going to have to change without a shadow of a doubt.
Absolutely. I think in our relationship, I probably was the one who struggled the most with that, because
You got
I'm
a
the
big
most.
head and you hard-headed? Yeah, I said it.
In an effort to be nice this episode, I'm going to gracefully agree. I'm going to put a smile on my face and say, yes, dear.
Aw, it feels nice. I see why you like it so much.
Like what so much?
When I say yes, dear.
Oh, hush. But yeah, I'm more stubborn, way more stubborn than you are. I always feel like but that's just in general. Just like it was a past trauma thing, but I've always felt like I had a point to prove.
You got only child syndrome.
All right. That ain't got nothing to do with this situation.
All I'm saying is she been showing all 32 this episode, so I don't know where I'm not funny at.
I ain't smiling no more this episode. I'm taking it as a personal challenge. Remember I said I had a point to prove?
All right, bro.
Now I got a point to prove.
Go ahead, bro.
Anywho, I think I struggled the most with the notion of putting the mirror up to myself, because I figure as the woman, honestly, in the relationship, it's just like, well, I'm the prize because the Bible says so. So what I need to change for? Like, you just gonna have to love me and accept me for who I am, and you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. And it was a lot of roadblocks. It were a lot of roadblocks that I can now say because I have matured and in hindsight is always 2020. But there's a lot of roadblocks that I say that were caused by me in that respect because I wasn't willing for a very long time to change who I was, because at that point, to me, it felt like, you changing for a nigga. Like, you changing who you are just to be with somebody. And it's like, that's not always a bad thing. Like, the connotation that comes with having to change because you want to stay in your relationship is always so negative.
That's true. Why do people feel that way?
I don't know.
Like, I don't understand why changing in your relationship is not normalized. Like, you change in everything else, but changing for your spouse is a bad thing?
My assumption is that, like, people are just so afraid of commitment to where it's like you change and do all of this and it's like, and you still couldn't keep it, and you still couldn't keep him. And now you out here looking like boo-boo the fool because you done changed to the core of you to be with somebody else and they still ain't want you type. You know what I'm saying?
But here's my thing. If you are able to, and this might be controversial, but if you have to change who you are at the core, did you know who you were?
That's muddy territory. Cause there are times where you do. Mm-hmm. It's just that was a side of you that you either ignored or there was nothing in your life that made you have to pull that side of you out. So you knew, or it was just like something you knew was there, but it was just behind the door type of deal. You might know it's there, but nothing was pulling it out of you, so you never had to address it. So I wouldn't say that just because you found something or something came up that you're not accustomed to or used to just comes out. All of a sudden it's just like, oh, you never knew yourself. I don't think that's the case.
I agree
but that's
that.
a personal thing.
No, that's fair. So yeah, with that, I like it makes sense, but the one thing that I think you just talked about that kind of struck me is the idea that people believe that you should not change for your spouse. That is such a big thing now.
Well,
I kind of want to dwell on that.
But where you're at in your thinking speaks a lot to the relationship because you're thinking spouse already.
Oh, okay.
Nope, they're not dating and thinking I got to change for a spouse because a lot of people aren't dating with intention, so they're not dating to get married. So they're not thinking like, oh, I have to change for my spouse. It's nothing like that at all.
So the key difference is the fact that when we established what this was, we knew what we were looking for at the end, whereas a lot of people are just dating to date and then in the hopes that when they do get a boyfriend and they feel like it's serious, that's when that switch flips over. Because I think like to
everybody don't have that switch because there's a lot of people who don't either think they won't get married or don't want to get married. But I feel like that's a whole separate conversation about the connotation of marriage or the reputation of marriage in the Black community specifically, because that's the only thing I could speak to.
So speaking to our relationship specifically, do you think we did it in the inverse? Because I think we had that conversation really early on about what we were doing.
Yeah, you forced it.
More words?
You forced that conversation.
That
wasn't a conversation I wanted to have.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't know if I wanted to be with you long term. I told you a long time ago. It was a day at a time for me.
So what you're saying is I beat you over the head like a caveman and dragged you into the cave.
No.
What?
I was supposed to smile.
Yeah, we getting her this episode.
I wouldn't say that, but I wouldn't say you beat me over the head like a caveman sort of situation. Okay, if I wouldn't say that, well, I guess I'm trying to figure out what I would say. I wouldn't say that it was that, but it was just like I will definitely give credit to you for how far we've gotten and how it was like kind of like more so of a path of least resistance. I will give you credit for that because you forced conversations early on that I was not willing to have that eventually, because we have lasted this long, has made the terrain a little bit easier. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously you still have those same tough conversations and so forth and so on, but you forced those conversations early, which allowed us to be in a space where the longer we stayed together, we didn't waste each other's time. And I think that was probably the most important piece with us because I'm a day at a time and I'm dating this guy and we finally made it to a year and my head is in the clouds and we're going to be in love forever and we're going to get married and I was never that. It was just a day at a time. So I was just like, it just is what it is. But because you forced those conversations, we had them early on. I was like, okay, because we're having these tough conversations now, I know what's going on in your head. Maybe I don't have to be so worried.
So yeah, I kind of have to force you to have those real conversations like very, very early on. And that kind of leads to the final question of this episode. 6 years. What moral or trying to figure out how I want to phrase this now. In 6 years, what traits about ourselves or traits about our relationship did we find out and figure out worked to get us here?
I hate when you ask me these questions and I don't have a heads up on any of this.
Because I want your real-time response.
It's going to take a while. Ask the question again.
In the 6 years of us being together, what traits, morals, or in fact, I'm going to augment it too now. In the 6 years we've been together, what traits, morals, or techniques have we discovered helped us get to 6 years?
Outside of the obvious communication, because, I feel like in every single episode we've had so far, we've talked about how we've fell into a space where sometimes we will over communicate because miscommunication was a big issue of ours. So just not to beat the same old tired horse.
The big C, communicate.
I'd probably say honesty. Yeah, I think I'm my one trait that I can think of off the top of my head would have to be honesty.
Explain.
There was a point in time where neither one of us was 100% honest with each other about how we actually felt or what we actually thought about certain things. Which is so weird how we made it that far before we actually started being honest with each other. But there was a time where our relationship emotionally was completely superficial. And I just think I can't tell you, because that was already 2 years in?
2 years in.
I can't even tell you how in the hell we made it 2 years just off just superficial conversations, at least emotionally, right? But it took us finally being honest and just stripping away the facade that we wanted the other person to see and actually just kind of bearing souls. And it's just kind of like, this is actually who I am. I'm like, it took a long time for you to realize that I was not this like super, super happy-go-lucky person all the time.
Shocked the shit out of me. Shocked the shit out of me.
I was always, I purposely just wanted to just be.
You were flowers and rainbows.
Yeah.
And then you woke up one morning and you were Wednesday.
But I'm not actually a flowers and rainbows person. But
and then
you didn't
woke
know
up
that.
one morning and you were Wednesday.
Wednesday Addams? Wow. I wish I could say that wasn't accurate.
I know. We talked about this.
Oh, no.
Literally, you were this happy-go-lucky person, and then one day the switch flipped, and I'm like,
the
whoa.
switch did not flip. It was after a conversation.
I'm not trying to allude to that. Jesus Christ, woman.
No, not that conversation. I'm just saying, okay, all right.
You just bearing the whole relationship to the world.
Well, hell, we here now.
Some things are supposed to be kept private.
True. I ain't said nothing crazy.
I know. I'm just being overly dramatic.
What's your middle name? Drama King over here.
But no, yeah, like I think that's what led to the invention of the truth moment.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about that. Wow.
Want to talk about what that is?
Wow. Okay. So it actually, because that was my idea, but it stemmed from This Is Us. I was watching This Is Us at the time, and my favorite, along with so many other people's favorite characters and couple, was for sure Beth and Randall.
Pause on that thought. This Is Us is arguably one of the greatest shows ever. And if you are like a couple and in relationships, I suggest you watch that show together. it'll change how you view relationships. But I'm sorry to interrupt. Continue your thought.
Oh, I want to rewatch it again.
I'm down to. I'm down to.
But at the time I was watching This Is Us while it was actually still currently on air. You weren't watching it. You didn't even, I don't think you had an interest in watching it really.
At all. I was knee deep in Game of Thrones.
But also it was so far into, like, I think it was like the 4th season or so by the time you would come over, and I would like still be watching it, and you were like, well, I don't want to watch it because I don't want to start from the beginning. And I also don't want to be waiting every week for episodes.
You feel me?
Blah, blah, blah.
That is the worst invention known to man.
You say that as if like that's not how TV used to be initially.
Bring it to the 21st century.
You're literally spoiled.
And so?
You're spoiled.
And?
You baby. You big baby. I remember the times where we would have to wait on episodes every week.
And that's when dinosaurs walk too, huh?
Woo! You know what? I've been bragging on you for the first 3 episodes.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you have that. But don't get comfortable.
Oh.
Don't get comfortable. Don't.
Baby, let's get comfortable.
You know what? What I said I was going to do earlier? Just smile, nod, and say, yes, dear. Yes, dear.
Y'all, there's a knife offset.
Why you lying? The fact that you were able to just lie like that so smooth, this is crazy.
Hey, man.
This is crazy. This is insane.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I don't even remember what the hell I was talking about.
The truth moment.
Oh, hell. But yeah, I was watching This Is Us, and I really loved. I hate you so much. I just can't. I hate you so much.
What'd I do?
I was loving Beth and Randall's relationship, and I don't know if they actually called it truth moments.
It was brutal honesty.
Something like that. And they would have these moments where it was
worst case scenario.
No, worst case scenario was something completely different that they did.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They were just that good.
No,
they
were
had
very
so
good.
many different techniques. They were that good. But it was either a truth moment or brutal honesty, just something along those lines where it would just be the two of them in like a secluded place away from the rest of their family, like their kids and everything. And it was a space in which them as husband and wife, as a couple, were able to say what was on their mind and not have to necessarily fear the repercussions of what your partner has to, their opinion on whatever it is you had to say. And it was just like just full truth. You know, I feel like XYZ, ABC, and it might be like so bad, you know, but the other person couldn't judge. And it was like that other person came back with their truth moment or whatever. So that was my idea, to institute truth moments, because it's just like me, I don't do well with with random bouts of essentially anything. I'm not a random person. Like I like scheduled things.
That's that tism.
All right. Yes, dear. Yes, dear. Yes, dear. So
Come on, you can't give me a laugh.
No.
Bro. Like, I'm killing here.
No, you're not. You're not. Ain't nothing funnier than my SpongeBob reference. Until you come something that's that funny, you're not getting nothing out of me.
All right, man.
No freebies around here.
Whatever, bro.
But I don't do well with like random things. So like I have to be mentally prepared for you to tell me something essentially emotional, honestly. Because I don't do well with emotions. With my own and other people's. Like that's just complete transparency about who I am as a person. I don't know what that says about me, but
I will give you some credit that you are light years from where you used to be.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. It's been a long time. It was a long road, tough road for sure to get here.
Oh yeah.
But it was more so of I knew, and because you are the more emotional one in the relationship, I wanted to get to a place because I didn't know how to myself.
Okay.
But
I want to correct something.
uh-oh.
I'm not the more emotional one. I'm the one that's more able to vocalize my emotions.
Yeah. You're the more vocal about your emotions. I give you that. But I didn't know how to create a space for you to be able to say how you felt without me essentially delaying processing it. Like, or getting angry because my immediate reaction was defensiveness.
You would conversation bully in the beginning.
Say what now?
You would literally I would tell you how I felt about something, and you would find a way to flip it to be like, but this is how you saying this makes me feel right now.
Actually, you used to do that.
No, we literally, remember we had this in the beginning, and then I started doing that to try to show you why that was the thing. You don't think so?
Nope.
Okay.
We have very different memories to recount this situation.
And this is the honesty part.
Truth moment, I think you're lying. No, play. Hey, Sungmin, you're lying.
Nobody gets the reference.
It's okay. I don't care. The fact that you think I need anybody's validation for anything, it's crazy.
Okay.
All I need is me and Jesus.
All right.
Hallelujah.
Bet you don't remember where you were going.
No, I don't actually.
Beautiful face, terrible memory.
Damn.
Come on. Thank you.
I gotta give you that one. Damn, beautiful face, terrible memory.
Thank you. Finally.
I need that on a t-shirt because that is an accurate description of me.
Finally. I feel validated.
Damn. Beautiful face, terrible memory.
But you were talking about how in the beginning, you weren't able to fully process emotions, so you would delay processing in the conversations.
Yeah, and that never boded well because at that point it made me look dismissive towards your feelings. Mm-hmm. And that was never the case. It was just that I didn't have the mental capacity to understand exactly where you were coming from at that moment. Because again, I don't do well with emotions. Emotions weren't a thing in my household when I was growing up. And when it came down to being emotional in my house, it was always like essentially a man up. Like, what
you crying for?
What you crying for? You'll get over it. It ain't even that serious, So that's how I felt about your emotions. Mm-hmm. Man up. And you the man in this relationship. Man up. I don't want to hear that whining and all that crying. But that wasn't healthy. Not by any means. Not for you as a person. Not for you as my significant other.
She used to tell me big boys don't cry.
You a liar. You're a liar and the truth ain't in you.
You know what this reminds me of? Invader Zim. The boy lies. The filthy earth boy lies. You're a lying liar that lies.
You sit on a throne of lies. Shout out to my nigga Buddy. You sit on a throne of lies.
Hey man, nobody knows if we're telling the truth or not.
I'm telling y'all, I would never. Anybody who knows me knows I would never say anything like that.
If
never.
You know Melanee, comment if she would say something like that.
I would never. I'm not even worried. And if anybody does say that, it's some people who are like in my inner circle who are just assholes.
Drea. Do your due diligence, my dog. I need you to come through. I need you to come through right now.
She's not your person. She's my person.
We will have a fight over Drea right here, right now.
I'd win.
You know what? Let's not get off topic.
You really tried it. Hey, sister. Hell, what the hell was I going with this? Childish. No, I it looked like I was being very dismissive because I didn't grow up being able to process emotions. Because for emotions, like I spoke about it a little bit in the last episode, emotions in my family were weakness. Mm-hmm. You don't show the emotions. Not even to yourself at home in the mirror. Like, you don't show it at all. Like, because everything was always, whenever something happens, you might feel these emotions, but it is what it is because life goes on and you got to keep going.
Yeah.
But that's not how you operated. So in those moments where you were trying to bare your soul to me, whether it be something I did wrong or just, you just had a bad day or something just was in general wrong that you just wanted to vent, I didn't want to hear it.
At all.
Because in my mind, life goes on.
It's happened. It's water under the bridge.
It's water under the bridge. We got a whole nother day. Let's go. Let's keep going. And so I needed to figure out a way that worked for me. And I wanted to try. I mean, the one black couple I saw on TV was the one couple I would say that like I thought got it right, regardless if they were scripted or not. I thought that was a very healthy couple that in more ways than not got it right. So I'm like, why not try to take some of the techniques that they have and kind of implement them and integrate them into our relationship? And Truth Moment is one of the things that stuck because we still do them, to this day.
Yeah. And to add to that also, our Truth Moment, it's weird, but it doesn't happen like a verbal conversation like this. It's very often through like a text message.
Mm-hmm. It's easier for us a lot of times to text those things instead of talking face to face.
Which is often weird. You wouldn't think that for a relationship where it's like, oh, everything got to be happening in person. Mm-hmm. Sometimes that real rawness needs to come through a text message. So
sometimes easy. At least for me, it's easier because I don't have to look at your face.
Yeah.
And giving eye contact for something like that. And it's like the moment, because when you're looking at somebody's face and having that type of conversation, especially when it's something that they've done to you that's like it affected you. You're not mad at them, but it at least affected you emotionally because you love that person. When you're looking at them, you start to like smooth the edges off of it.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to hurt them, but you still want them to know how they affected you. So you try to smooth them edges out. But sometimes, depending on what it is, you can't smooth those edges. You got to lay it out. Say what it is, no matter if it hurt them or not. But you obviously still be nice.
You're saying it with love.
Yeah, essentially.
It's like, and that's the core. Like, you never say it disrespectfully. You know that everything that's coming out is coming out with love, but it's something that has to come out.
Yeah. It's something that'll benefit not only just you personally, but it'll benefit the relationship, whether it be short-term or long-term. And well, that's a whole nother thing, but that's because part of the reason why people don't do that is because they don't enjoy having uncomfortable conversations. But I think the basis of any good, long-standing relationship is being comfortable with uncomfortable conversations.
So you've given to honesty and being comfortable with uncomfortable conversations.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give
those two.
I'm gonna give two. One of my biggest ones is nobody knows the answer.
You don't have all the answers, Sway. You don't have. Sorry.
You think in memes, but we gonna leave that alone.
No, I think it's song lyrics, and it's really hard not to sing when I
do it.
No.
All right. Whatever.
I play a game of song association all day, every day in my brain.
Insane. Tism. So.
No one knows the answer.
No one knows the answer. I think there's this idea that everybody like they believe that they have they're this guru that is able to give you advice that's going to impact your life, but not all relationships are created the same. What might work for you might not work for the other person. So understanding that nobody has the answers. Yes, you can work together to find those answers, but nobody has that one answer that's the cure-all and the answer to your relationship.
The problem with majority of these podcasts is they convincing y'all that they got the answers to this is what black love looks like and this is how it's supposed to go. And then you listen to it and you figure out that it don't work for you in your relationships. A lot of relationships would continue to go on and not fail if you would just literally keep other people in their opinions and how they do things out of your relationship and do what works for you and your partner.
Talk to your partner and figure out what works for y'all. That's the key.
I mean, we're going to be having the conversation every 4 months about 50-50 but no, okay, my bad.
No, say that.
All right.
Say that.
Nah, I told you I said last episode I don't want to get in trouble on the internet.
No, say that. Like, again, that whole conversation's tired. Like,
just do what works for you in your household.
Do what works for you in your household.
That's where I'm going to start it and that's where I'm going to end it. But that's in regards to everything.
And I think let's rephrase it as that. Do what works for your household. That's how you keep 6 years.
Just because we do truth moments, don't look at our relationship unless you think it'll help. You can try it.
You can try it, but we ain't giving nobody no advice and telling you it's gospel.
Hell no.
Yeah. So that's one. Two would be, okay, this is a man thing.
Can't relate.
I hope not.
Toss, leg.
I hope not.
Toss, leg.
I hope you can't relate. Jesus.
I heard you the first time.
I said what I said. I'll give credit to Courtney for this one.
Which Courtney?
My Courtney.
Okay, the guy Courtney.
I'll give credit to Courtney for this one. Ever since I met Courtney, Courtney has always told me that shed the idea of what you think a good man is. Very often, men put themselves in this box of what it is to be a good man, of you go home, you pay the bills, you do X, Y, and Z, you're the strong man, you never break down, you're never this. Shed that idea completely. Sometimes being a good man is telling somebody that you don't have the capacity to do what they need from you. I think for me, that has kept us honest, because to a degree, I started that level of vulnerability of, this might look ugly, but I got 30% today, babe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's all I got. Like, I can't carry I cannot do it. And being that level of honest with self is very, very ugly sometimes. So shedding that idea of what you think being good or being this perfect spouse looks like is one of the biggest keys, because being a good spouse starts with being good to self.
Mm.
And if you aren't able to take care of self, how can you take care of somebody else? So
It's because people look to their significant other or spouse to be the one to take care of them.
They find their happiness in each other.
Yeah, you can't do that.
You can do battle by yourself.
I wouldn't. Yes. I obviously, as a woman, I'm gonna say yes. But when it comes to being in a relationship, I would say also no.
Fair. We both do different roles. We both do different things, but we
You gotta
both
share
need
the
each other.
load.
Yeah, you got to share the load. Any final thoughts or any last things you want to bring to the forefront about what kept us through 6 years?
The Lord. And me. I just want to thank me for being me, for being awesome, for being great, for me just being.
You can never just let the Libra in you shut up.
Great woman, to you. So you're welcome. I think anyone who knows us will agree. That. Oh, my bad. I think anybody who knows us will agree that, I just came in and just elevated your life. And so I just want to publicly say I appreciate you for appreciating me.
You're not well. You're not well at all. You need help. I hope you know that.
Do you have anything?
No. I think that's all of my thoughts that at least I'm willing to share right now. But yeah, thank y'all so much. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode.
Shout out to Mr. for the topic this week. We I think we're gonna start, when we do have the questions from people who, kind of give us the basis of where we want to go with certain things.
Actually, it's a conjoined episode. So Mr. got the first 2 or 3 questions, and then the Chem had the last question about what morals and techniques and whatever saw us through 6 years.
Okay,
so,
shout out to them.
Shout out to y'all.
Shout out to Eli for last week, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Eli did last week.
Shout out to Eli for last week.
So, yeah, if you send in a question and that ends up being, the topic for the episode, we'll shout you out.
Facts.
Any final thoughts? Anything to plug?
Not that I can think of. I think
You all good?
I'm all set.
All right,
In
y'all.
Jesus' name.
Peace.
Bye.